out of here. Oh, these things don't turn for shit. Oh, well, guess I'm going over the curb. Oh, come on. Where's my other phone? Adam Curry and Joe Rogan. I don't want to crash into the ditch. Let's see what we shall listen to. Oh, fuck. I can't see. Oh. Carolina plates on a trailer hauling grapes, straight south and vine from the sunshine state of California. Headed east on 40. Buzzing up a young man, dragging a boat to the southwest coast of Florida. It's Barracuda. And some ice smoking like a steam machine, running on gasoline. Shot black, lipstick on the edge of a Starbucks cup, closing shoes in the bed of my truck. Set the tail lights, steal fast, finger on the window, barefoot on the gas. She's calling us. Ain't nothing serious, ain't coming back like that. Feels like I'm sitting still, just a spinning my wheels, looking a traffic jam behind a red Trans Am. Dude's only doing 80, chasing after my baby. There goes a wink in a beer train, hopper load of sweet grain, Cadillac, Hugos, guitars, pantyhose. God knows she's driving me crazy. I'm on a 911 highway patrol, report over and I'm missing, running out of control. Chillin' to turn around. Got lame as a bad redhead with double shot black lipstick on the edge of that Starbucks cup. Closing shoes in the bed of my truck. Set the tail lights, she ain't fast. Finger out the window, barefoot on the gas. She's hauling ass. Ain't nothing serious, ain't coming back like that. Cries in the seat of a big old W9. Well, in your bull hauler knows you gotta keep the doors closed just to get them there on time. but he walks kind of stern when he talks, as is been hard to do. It's been to hell and back, and he keeps one foot on the rail.
Oh, I need to be in this lane.
No more hollering, no time for running slow. This town ain't got a whole lot of patience, and it ain't shine that chrome. He'll try to catch a few minutes sleep till he hears the cattle calling. But it's just what it does, it runs in his blood. Bull hauling. Don't have the time. He'll stop for some fuel for his trucking body, then I'll head it on down the line. He's got his owner and a piece of land where they just might bring him home. But they know damn well in no time he ain't dead off on the open road. The high bar, and no time for running slow. This town ain't got no whole lot of patience, and it needs to shine that chrome. But he'll try to catch a few minutes sleep till he hears the cattle calling. It's just what it does, it runs in his blood.
God, I wish this truck was a manual, man. This truck would be motherfucker. Can you not do that? This might be the perfect truck. Now, there's a few other things I want. You know, this is not a fully loaded truck by any means. But, like, for what it has, shit, this thing is fucking great.
Jesse James Robin Winston.
I'd say the thing is with these trucks is they're almost all, in my opinion, like 6 or 7 out of 10s in terms of like what the perfect truck is, and they're for different reasons. This truck drives really, really nice, like very, very nice. Seat's a little weird. I don't know how I feel about the seat, but. And the interface is not bad. The Volvo, in terms of UI, is way better. Volvo, like the amount of like fucking USB ports and sockets a Volvo has is great. Like I could have all my shit on the top of my windshield out of my fucking way, because they've got ports up top here, and no other truck has those ports. They got ports on the dash. You know, it's like if I'm running 2 phones, fucking GPS, and GoPro, I need a lot of USB ports. You know. And I don't want cords all over the place. I'd rather have the cords like out of sight, you know, tucked away in the edge of the windshield. So, you know, I gotta figure something out with this cord, because I don't like having this cord hanging on the dash or this shit over here. We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with. So the Volvo's got that. But UI, you know, the digital dash is it's not terrible. It's not great either. I wish there was more color on it. When you have a physical dash, like you have shapes that you're working with that pop out at you, that allow you to differentiate measurements and where something's at a very quick glance. This is just like red and gray, and it's all, because it's on a screen, it's all flat. And so, you know, if I glance down, the speedometer doesn't stand out, or the RPM gauge doesn't stand out to me on my peripheral vision, and I've got to like actually look at it to figure out, like, well, okay, what am I at? 1300 RPM, 1400 RPM. Requires a little bit more effort. Maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know yet. I've gotten no I don't have any suspension air pressure gauges, which is odd because I use that a lot. You know, if I've got 50 psi in my fucking airbags on my drives, I know that I've got around 70 to 80,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. So this not having that is annoying. There's no trailer brake either. I don't have a trailer brake, which is also, while most people wouldn't use their trailer brake, a skilled driver knows when to use it in order to maintain traction and prevent, you know, flip overs or do what they can if they start, you know, if the truck runs, starts sliding. Like, you can pull your trailer brake and it'll straighten you out. This doesn't have it. It doesn't have a trailer brake. So maybe I'm missing something. Well, I'll, something else comes up to me or comes to mind, I will bring it up in the meantime.
Keeps on driving through the rain in his old wagon train.
Ooh, I like those W990s. I really do.
Feel the shot blast.
I wouldn't mind driving. Oh, well,
Twist the cab.
it has the typical Kenworth sleeper, which I think they're still using for the next gen Kenworths as well. I don't know if they've updated the interior from the one I drove, which was I think the one I drove was a 2017 T680. That's a nice W9. But I like the 990s a lot. I would really like to have one, especially I need to get a fucking visor for this thing. Pretty sure my boss will be down with that.
I drive 20,000 miles of hard road every day. And I ain't been to sleep since 1970. I'm a suicide jockey, hollow dynamite and gasoline. Drinking tar, black coffee, and crystal methamphetamine. Yeah, I'm a bad mother trucker of the big road, honey. All them other motherfuckers never know my 20. Never been a bear, get the drug on me. I'm a nationwide villain of the DOT. I was born in a Wichita truck stop bathroom stall. And I've been driving this truck since the day I learned to crawl. I get all the pretty women when I blow through town. I keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. And I'm a bad mother trucker of the big road, honey. All them other motherfuckers never know my 20.
It's supposed to be another winter storm coming in around 3 today. At least that's what the receiver was saying. Which I checked Ryan Hall's stuff last night. I didn't see anything major coming in, so maybe. But this dedicated route that I'm on right now is the freight's always light, which is sketchy. At least I don't have super singles anymore.
Porsche engines into VW buses back in the day.
Jesus.
That was awesome.
That's probably fun.
You can fit it in a Beetle too. You can fit a Porsche engine into a bus.
Oh yeah, a lot of people have done
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
Beetle transformations. They've hyped up Porsche engines and put them in the back of those things. Yeah, there's a whole like modding community of Beetle freaks. They take Beetles.
They're Volkswagen. They're Volkswagen. Remember how many there were in the 70s coming in from Germany?
Yeah.
We all had I had a 1303. I loved my Beetle. It was
Yeah,
the
when I was
best.
a kid, my friend Jimmy had one. He had a Beetle. It was just cheap on gas. It was easy to drive.
And mine was like I had to jump start it because the lock had broken. So like
So you jump started every time you got in?
every time you got in, and then I'd lost my gas cap, so I just had a rag in there.
Oh god.
And if I went around the highway to the right, and if my tank was too full, then gas would leak out and my front tire would start to slide off.
Oh, Jesus.
It was back, we were 18,
Yeah.
just like, I gotta drive this thing. It was great. I loved, that was a good, we weren't scrolling on TikTok, Joe Rogan, we were doing dangerous stuff.
That's true.
We were jump starting our cars and
Well, I think we're lucky that we've seen both. We've gone through, we grew up in a time where there was no internet and we're going outside to do things and people did physical activities. But then as we got older, we recognized that there's this new technology that's connecting the whole world in this weird way and we're getting to experience it as people who know the world before that. I think we're real lucky.
Well, you're a big part of a change, certainly in young men. I mean, I've seen so many young men who follow you and follow your workout regime and listen to you. They listen to you about what you're saying about health, about food, and you're an important voice in that regard. You really helped a lot of young men in our country and far beyond. I mean, I know you don't take compliments like this well, but it's very important.
Well, I'm very happy. If that's
Very,
true.
very
Just-
important what you're doing.
There's a lot of young men that just feel like real disconnected to the world. Nothing seems to be anything that is interesting to them, and they're being pushed into this box where someone's trying to turn them into a fucking chihuahua. And this is like the evolution of the wolf into the dog. That's what's happening with men. Like, for some reason, men are supposed to be.
There's in the 60s. So I've been ever since I got saved and become a believer. I've really learned about our American history, and I've been blown away by how much. Because a lot of you can talk about the 60s and when they outlawed psychedelic drugs and put it on Schedule 1. That was the exact same time when the Bible was basically taken out of school, and it was I think the church in general kind of went into itself and kind of became the thing you do over there on Sundays.
Can we pause real quick? Sorry,
You gotta pee?
real bad.
You
Yeah,
gotta pee?
let's do.
Yeah.
Let's pause. We'll come back and talk about Jesus. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
Yeah. Oh man.
Much better, right?
Thank you.
So we were going to talk about.
I don't want to hear
The cotton is American-made cotton, not from China. No, I got
Cotton?
into this. Yeah.
Cotton? What's the cotton for?
So if you look at the mechanism, see.
Okay.
So the cotton sucks up the juice, and then the coil warms
So
up.
the cotton's like the filter.
No, the cotton has the juice in it, and then when the coil warms up, it creates the vapor from the juice that's in it.
So do you have to constantly refresh the cotton?
Yeah.
And so you just dump your cotton in the juice?
No. It's
The juice is inside.
It's in the tank. Yeah, it has little wires in there,
And so you just
it crawls
put new
up.
cotton in every now and again?
Yeah, and winds a new coil from time to
How long
time.
do you have to wait before you put new cotton?
Yeah, it depends. I do it usually once every couple of days.
That doesn't give me the weird head rush that the gas station ones do.
That's Chinese crap.
That's the what I like though. I like
All right,
that weird head
well, good luck to you.
I would like the first hit. That's what you like off the gas station vapes. It's like you're chasing a dragon. You get
That's
that
bad,
first
that's
hit, and you're like, first hit's like,
So there
so
was
relaxing, and then after that, you never get that again.
So I really got into this. There was a store in Fredericksburg called Vaporlicious. They've retired now. They've retired. Jerry and Kathy, and they're two old hippies from.
Why do they make it so unwieldy?
Well, you can get all kinds of different versions, but I'm a serious user, so I need this whole battery. I have a whole kit with me, man. I got a screwdriver to open this up.
And that doesn't fuck with your lungs or your health or anything like that?
No, I've never felt this good.
Okay, and so this is different juice. So what is the juice? Because the thing about the actual oil is the issue, right?
Yeah.
And this is a thing like a lot of these cheap ones that you're buying off the gas station.
You don't know what's in there.
Right.
This is glycol, which is it's essentially the same stuff that's in the theatrical mist machines.
Okay.
Only much watered down, and all it does is just produce vapor. And so what is vapor? Well, it's mainly water, and of course you're mixing it with nicotine. And nicotine, you know, that's the piece that I've always liked about smoking. But now I don't get the tar, I don't get all other contaminants, and I also don't get high. You know, I stopped. I kind of stopped. I used to smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
I stopped. It's just I haven't felt like doing it anymore. You know, like a glass of wine, but yeah. And so this. Yeah, I do have Gorilla Grip on it. It's like everywhere I go, I'm like, where's my vape? Where's my vape? So
Right.
I'm
Addicted.
fully aware I'm addicted to more the motion of it, because I mean, I would roll up, you know, I could roll them with one hand behind my back, and I'm doing it so long. So a real spliff with tobacco, with weed, and then it will go out, and I put it down, and I come up, pick it up again. At a certain point, it was like 3 a.m, I'd wake up like, I think I'll go roll a joint, you know, smoke a whole spliff, go back to bed. I mean, it got to be a little. I was smoking a lot, you know, and without it, I'm very productive, Joe. I gotta tell you, I'm super productive. I'm doing all
nicotine
kinds
is
of
very
things.
good for productivity.
For
As
me,
is caffeine.
It can well. Those are my 2 drugs. You know, caffeine and nicotine. I kind of dig it. I really do.
They're very good for productivity.
Yeah. Is there any bad stuff? I mean, I know it constricts your blood flow in your mouth and in other parts probably. I mean, obviously you're putting something in your stream, so I don't know. But you like those pouches?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what happens if I took time off, and I went out of the country for 5 days. Didn't bring them, and that was fine. It didn't bother me at all. I was like, I was wondering if I'd be like itching for one.
Like, I'm okay on the plane. I can fly to Europe. I'm like, you know, I'm okay. I don't need to
Can you
vape.
go to the bathroom? Just get a quick one in there on the plane.
You know, this is a very bad idea. You do not want to be caught vaping on the plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. I
Will
have.
that set off a fire alarm?
I don't know.
Can you blow it right into the toilet?
No, you can do what they call zero vape, which is basically you inhale and you just hold it in until
air
nothing
goes
comes out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or you know, I've done one of these like.
And then go under your jacket. Yeah, I know. I've seen people do that
But
at the movie theater.
that
and
is
stuff.
that is not approved of behavior, so I do not condone that. You know, it's okay. I can handle not vaping for 8 hours.
So
or
what's in
whatever.
the gas station ones when you're getting that?
Who knows?
What's in the oil?
Who knows? Who knows? That's maybe what killed some people early on in COVID. You know, it might have been bad. A lot of THC, of course. These pre-made cartridges. You just don't know what's in it. It's like, no, don't vape that stuff. Do not vape the pre-made things. I mean, this is fun. You get to learn how to do it. It's manufacturing. You know, I can really get into it. Like, I got this diameter silver wire and 5 loops or 6 loops for different impedance. Oh yeah, there's a whole. I mean, this tank. You know, this thing is like you try different. Must have 18 different vapes that I've tried. Like, this is the one.
Somebody gave me one at one point in time. It was like. It was carrying around a phone. It was like I was carrying around. It was the size of your flip phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous.
That's me, baby. That's me.
I don't want to have another heavy thing in my pockets or on my fanny pack. It's like. It's
Yeah.
too
No,
much.
but this is okay. I mean, it's all right. And then this thing.
But you decided that the phone was too invasive, even with the graphene OS.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can still do everything, just not being tracked. And so I used to go to bed. You know, we go to bed at the same time. You know, we always watch some stupid, like we're in season 7 of Seinfeld right now. You know, so we'll watch a half hour of stupidity, and then we go to bed. And I used to be on my phone, you know, for half an hour scrolling stuff or whatever, and then, you know, like, okay, I'm tired. Yeah, because my brain has been working overtime on whatever inputs I'm giving it. And now I'm like, well, there's nothing to scroll, so I just go to bed and I'm out in 3 seconds. I'm like, I sleep. And I sleep all the way through, and I wake up in the morning, I'm refreshed, I feel good. I don't look at social media the first hour I'm up. I mean, I do Bible readings and stuff and devotionals, and I text a buddy of mine, and I'm ready, man. Then,
do you do social media in the morning?
No, almost not at all.
So when you do it from a computer?
Yeah.
You check it out all?
Yeah.
And when you do that, one of the questions I had about that, does that do voice to text?
It can.
Andrew? Oh, that's a game.
However, of course, when you do that, Google is basically keeping your transcript. There's a company in Austin called Futo.
Wait a minute. So if you just text, it doesn't keep your transcript?
Oh, I'm sure it does. But I'm not sure how much of that it does, but when you speak into it, it goes to the Google servers. The Google server then transcribes it and sends it back to your phone. It's not happening on the phone. It's happening on Google servers, and they probably keep all of that, or my voice, or whatever. There's a company in Austin called Futo, F-U-T-O, and they have an open source voice-to-text system that don't keep your transcripts, and they're some good guys. I've been messing with that. It's not quite as fast.
And will that work on that phone?
Yeah, you can install it.
Really?
Yeah, just as an extra
But
keyboard.
do you ever send messages with Google Voice or with voice to text on that phone?
I've been using Futo.
Oh, you have been on that phone?
Yeah.
So I use it on my phone all the time. Like when I'm in my car, I press the little button for
So that
Apple
goes,
Siri.
yeah, so you know, who knows what Apple's doing with that? You don't know. I mean,
Send it right to China. All the memes.
maybe. I don't know. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah. So I went to Boston. You lived in Boston, didn't you? So we went to go see the Doobie Brothers, and
When was this?
last year.
Yeah, they're around.
Yes, and it was wild. It was in Massachusetts. It was one of these, like amphitheaters that's half covered, and we were the youngest people there, and people were sparking weed. You could smell the whole place. They're like 80-year-old dudes, and so eventually they get into that. But then they would, like Michael McDonald, "What a Fool Believes." I love that song. He would do it syncopically, like instead of doing the song like we all remember it, you do "What a Fool Believes." Like, no, don't do that. It was really disappointing. But the opening act was Steve Winwood. Steve Winwood's now almost 80 years old, and I get goosebumps just thinking.
I've noticed as I've listened to this episode, Adam Curry is much better when he's working with John C. Dvorak. He's a little too talkative when he's on Joe Rogan. It's like anytime Adam Curry shows up, I want him to talk about the stuff that he brings up on No Agenda, because a lot of that stuff doesn't necessarily get out to the broader audience that Rogan has. And he does, we're talking about fucking concerts in this. Like, come on, Adam, let's get into the all the shit you've covered for the last 17 fucking years.
Like, okay, it's a rock.
It's like I don't even know who the Doobie Brothers are.
We don't know that this was really the Rock, but some guy in church who was 90 years old at the time said, "Yeah, I think this was the Rock, so that's the Rock." You were talking about the Georgia Guidestones a few episodes ago with somebody. Did you know that we have an actual Guidestone in America, in Plymouth?
No.
It's called the Monument to the Forefathers. I'd never heard of this. It's about 2 blocks in, and it's, I think, arguably the largest granite structure in America, certainly, but maybe in the world.
I might have just spoke too soon.
1890, and it is the Guidestone of America. And how do I not know? No one knows about this. This is check it out. The thing is huge.
Wow.
And it's literally in a cul-de-sac, a residential area.
Really?
There's no
How old
roads.
is that?
It was completed in 1890 after 50 years of building it.
Wow.
And so this is the formula for America. This is what I was
Well,
looking
I
for.
complained and I got what I
Formula
wanted.
for America. So they constructed this so that if we ever lost our way, we could find our way back. When they talk about America was built on Christian values, like, what does that mean? What does that even mean, Christian values? I mean, I don't think even the word Christian is like, that was actually a slur back in the day that they came up with for Jesus believers. So in the middle is faith. That's her name, Faith, and it's 4 sides. And one is law, education, morality, and liberty. And it has all these cool inscriptions. It's really something amazing to see. And I believe that's the formula that we need to get back. You live like this. Joe Rogan lives these four sides. You understand law, morality, education, and liberty. And if we can get back to that, that would be just. In fact, so all of our early presidents, all of them lived by the Bible. Every single one of them. They wrote about it. They studied. 1778, one of the first acts of a Congress was to print a Bible for everybody. So I brought you. This is done by a group called the Wall Builders. And David Barton, he has these are the receipts. So it's a Bible, but it has 3/4 of that book is writings by our early presidents, all the way up through Reagan. And this David Barton guy, he has all of these originals. I think he lives in Aledo, Texas. And it shows you what our code was in the early days up until the 60s. And that's when, you got this big argument about, we can't have, the whole, the First Amendment is the right to establish a religion. And that has been perverted throughout the years to say, you can't have, the Bible in schools, and the government can't tell you to do this, and you can't be talking about. The Hall of Congress used to be a church. I mean, that's how we started. And you don't have to necessarily be a believer or saved by Jesus just to understand where we came from and the basic tenets of law, where those guys created it from. The receipts are in the Declaration of Independence. Our Bill of Rights, our amendments, are rights, not that the government gives us. They all say the government shall not infringe, the government may not do. It's what the government could not do because we have rights given to us by our Creator. And I think if we got back to a little bit of that in America, we might get a bit more on path, which is why certainly all the Jesus freaks are like, President Trump is talking about God. He says God saved him to save America. I mean, a president is a big deal when he does stuff like that. And you can see, just look at people around us, Russell Brand, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. I mean, there's a lot of people starting to see this. And I know you love history, that's why I bought that for you. Because when you see where it comes from, a lot of things start to be clear. And that sculpture, that was like, I had no idea it was there. I'd never heard of it. It's not in any books, but it's kind of a template for where we came from. And I think it's kind of important that we look at that as well as all the other things that we're looking at now with AI, media, and just sitting around for 4 years going, Trump, Elon, stomp the libs. We've got to find some spirituality one way or the other. It doesn't have to be God. I would like it to be, but people got to find that.
I think you're saying some wise things. I think that people need some sort of a moral and ethical structure to live their life through. Jordan Peterson always has this thing, like, whether or not you believe in God, live like you believe in God, you follow God, you will live a better life. And that is true.
I believe it's very simple, man, that hard, right. It's like that's your law. If you believe that government is an extension of God, if you believe that he instates governments. And I think that God gave us Joe Biden for 4 years. I really do. He said, y'all got to take a look. He has humor too, by the way. You should take a look. And there's
differently. Well, all that
understand it, but
crazy, chaotic learn, and if you reward victim, that's not how the world.
Well, you're
works.
right. He's been rewarded and has been rewarded by political operations, mainly to get votes and to bring. These people have a vote too.
Right?
They can vote, so bring them in.
This is a part of the PSYOP of USA. And the PSYOP of just the government in general, these control structures that are essentially put in place to make sure that they remain in power.
Do you know John Perkins?
Yes.
Have you ever had him on?
No, I have not.
Oh man, because he wrote about this.
Economic hit.
Confession of Economic Hit. Wow. I mean, basically, USAID. That's what they do, but also State Department. So Marco Rubio seems like a good guy. I'm kind of liking him, but they've got intelligence units inside there. There's all kinds of things that happen in the State Department. So I hope that also gets uncovered.
Well, Mike Benz was explaining it yesterday. I was like, seems so intertwined. Like, how are you gonna, what can be done in 4 years? He goes, no, this is gonna take 50 years more. He's like,
That may be true.
It's gonna take forever to unwind. Because you have to understand how deep these tentacles go. And he laid it out in 4.5 hours yesterday.
Wow.
I probably talked for 3 minutes for the whole podcast. I'm not kidding. It was just,
With Mike, you gotta
Yeah.
can I get the transcript of the show and go over it slowly? Because he goes fast.
Well, he
goes fast.
the thing that will happen is viral clips of specific things that he highlights and says that are very significant are going to go out.
Yeah.
Those are already out. And I'm sure they're all over X right now as we're speaking.
And I love that Doge is. I was skeptical because we heard this during the Reagan administration. Reagan wasn't going to do all this. He was going to make government efficient, and of course he didn't. When I hear that they're going to do the same thing to the military, amen, man.
Yeah. Well, they have to be accountable to an audit.
Yes.
You can't.
They haven't done one ever.
Well, the Pentagon's failed 7 of them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, fraud's real. We know it's real, and we know people are pilfering. And if you go unchecked for long enough, that becomes part of the way people do business. That's established, and it's been established for decades. That it's very difficult to stop, because as soon as you start investigating it, people go to jail. And so they're going to try to stop you from investigating it. They're going to try to, like, bury records, and it's going to get wild.
As I'm sure Mike told you, and I can't wait to see it, it's not just fraud. It is the actual system. Instead of us being open, and I think like Trump is doing, like, hey, we're just going to have tariffs on you. NATO, you don't like it? Boom, we're not going to protect you. We got to be fair about this. You can't just be ripping us off. We've been doing all these subversive things with money that's just going to NGOs and nonprofits. I mean, the whole Ukraine thing.
He highlighted all of this.
Did he play the Victoria Nuland recorded phone call?
No, he
That's
didn't.
my
He
favorite.
showed the Biden thing where he said, the prosecutor had to be fired or they wouldn't get the $1 billion in loans.
Right.
And son of a bitch.
Well, Victoria Nuland in 2014, the Russians, I think, they released it. They recorded a phone call, and she's literally talking to the ambassador. Okay, we want to put this guy in the government, that guy in the government, this guy in Senate. Clinch, leave him outside. He can be the mayor or whatever. I mean, that's not cool. We have some stuff to repent for when all this comes out, and we should pick ourselves up and move forward and just be honest. I think we can do it with a lot of honesty too.
I hope so. But the problem is there's a lot of people that are going to be in deep trouble, and they're going to try to stop that from all this accountability.
Was Mike bullish or bearish on that?
By his, he's in a storm. It's like, no one knows exactly what's going to happen when you're in the middle of a hurricane. You're telling people what's going on, and that's where he is right now. I mean, I asked him, how do you sleep? He was like, don't.
He needs prayers. He needs some prayers.
I'm sure he needs that.
We'll cover him.
And I think his fight is very noble, and he's right. He's right, and he's accurate, and the amount of information that guy's got in his head is astounding.
Yeah.
And he's pulling it all off the top of his head while we're talking, because he lived this constantly.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Good to see you.
Great to see you.
I've been looking forward to this one.
Me too.
All night I was like, ooh, tomorrow's going to be a good one. For you, it must have been very exciting to have the vault opened and to get a peek into the machine, because you've been describing this. The last time you were on the podcast, you went into depth about USAID. And it's very curious why they chose USAID as the first organization for Doge to investigate, because it seems like they were the ones that resisted the most.
Yeah. Well, the joke that I tell here is it's like what they tell you to do your first day of prison is you go in, you walk up to the meanest, baddest SOB, and you punch him right in the mouth. I mean, that's basically what's happened here with the White House's first target being USAID. Because USAID opens up the entire world of the blob, the foreign policy establishment, and its weaponization of what are supposed to be foreign-facing Department of Dirty Tricks operations against domestic opponents.
And when it all got opened and you started to see the numbers and the different organizations and NGOs that were getting them, was anything surprising to you, or was this all what you expected?
No, in fact, I think we're at the tip of the iceberg, and what people are going to see on this is going to completely reorient their mental map of how they think the world works, how they think American power projects into the institutions. And I think the calls for reform are going to get louder and louder as people realize the reality that's been constructed around them is downstream of something that was started very long ago when American statecraft to manage the American empire for the benefit of the American people began to warp and distort every institution in American life, from the media to now the social media companies, to the unions, to the universities and academics, to the NGOs and think tanks, to the prosecutors, to our conception of terrorism, to our conception of activity in the drug trade, to our everything, what we're really doing with public health programs and the medical establishment and what drives that, all the way into poverty relief and you name it. I mean, every institution is instrumentalized by this apparatus, supposedly to help us. But really, this has been done in U.S. history before. This happened against the left, against the Democrats in the 1960s and 70s, when the CIA and to an extent, its sister orgs like USAID and whatnot were pumping money into domestic politics to stop the anti-Vietnam War movement. This led to the reforms of the late 1970s, the Church Committee hearing, the Pike Committee hearing, the establishment of an Intelligence Committee and House Intelligence Committee for oversight. But even that was a very small glimpse into the window. I mean, the analogy I give here is like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the Chronicles of Narnia, where there's this whole cinematic universe. You're living in this house. There's this closet in the back of of a wardrobe, and if you never walk through it, you never see that whole world. You can live your whole life without seeing it, but when you open that door and you step into it, you see